Just a quick one, this one. Obviously, there was a new version of TimeSplitters in development, and it was canned, and we didn't really know anything about it until now with the release of 5 minutes of leaked footage. And John, it looks awfully familiar, doesn't it? And not entirely what we would expect from a TimeSplitters game, possibly, but a
Indeed.
lot what we would expect from Epic Games.
Indeed. This game was canned and now it shall be caned because this is basically Fortnite. And I'm a little
Right.
bit sad to see that that seems to have been what they were trying to make. Um wow, yeah, it's so Time Splitters has always had this sort of cartoony aesthetic to its characters, I would say. And my first thought was, okay, that's cool, but it's a first of all, they've made a third person game. Well, they were making a third person game. Seems to be heavily multiplayer focused, which is fair because that's a big part of that legacy. But
Absolutely.
everything about what they showed gameplay wise looks pretty much just like one of the typical battle royale Fortnite style games. Like really, really looks like Fortnite.
Do you remember
The
that third person Time Splitters game,
Nope,
John? I don't.
nope. Do you remember Haze?
I do.
I do,
Oh
yeah.
hell yeah. This is not either of those things. You know what? I'd rather play Haze than what this seems to be. This is really interesting though because I'm surprised that they would take this approach because people only remember the Time Splitters name because of the type of game Time Splitters was, and those types of games really don't exist widely any longer. So I feel
Yeah.
like there's very little purpose in taking that IP and applying it to effectively just a Fortnite clone. That's not what people would want. And I think doing a somewhat stealth-based per mission shooter set across time, very much GoldenEye style, obviously, would have been a hit. I think people would love that. That's
Gosh,
that's
yeah.
what we wanted was that type of game, not a Me Too Fortnite game. Uh, which is that seems like what it was looking like.
Totally
And I'm
bonkers.
completely baffled by this. Like I don't understand the direction that they were going. And now when I see that, it also kind of makes more sense why maybe it was canned. If this was like the direction they were heading in, like running this type of game, it takes a lot of resources, and if it's not a huge success, you're spending a lot of money for something that's ultimately going to fail. And which is
Yeah.
why I also say entering into these big service games, the service game world is deadly because it takes a lot of money before you realize whether or not you've succeeded or failed, and if you failed, you've wasted tons.
Tons,
And
yeah.
there's really no going back. The game will just die. Man, they even have like the flying down with the parachute thing going on here.
Like,
Jeez, this
jeez.
is just what a
Who even
shame.
knows?
What a shame.
Was there nothing of redemption about it whatsoever?
I mean, the visuals aren't bad or anything. There was some interesting architecture in the footage, but
Right. So
large.
no.
Yeah,
No.
that's not a ringing endorsement of a
A-
shooter game.
As a fan of Time Splitters 2 and Future Perfect, this is not a game I want to play. This is not a
It's
game
not
I
the
would have
game you were
played. This
looking
is not
for.
what I would have
I
been
mean,
looking
obviously,
for.
it looks really, really early, but
Sure.
the concept is Fortnite.
It's so
It's
bad.
freaking Fortnite again. And
So
you're not gonna outdo Fortnite. Not like this.
No.
Like
so
if you want to beat Fortnite, and you can't necessarily beat Fortnite, you can't do it by just copying Fortnite. Like we've seen Helldivers 2 taking off, right? That's a different
Yeah.
thing. It's a different sort of game. It has something people want. It's not just Fortnite again. And I think that's the mistake is like you can't just like come at this and say, yeah, I'm just going to copy this popular game and maybe we'll be popular too because it's people are not that dumb. They're not just going to fall for that.
yeah. So the question is like, what do Time Splitters fans have these days anymore that even scratches that itch? Uh, Mixing of like single player campaign with semi stealth based gameplay, multiple mission objectives going through time, and then a multiplayer mode with bots, which offers a surprising amount of replayability and fun. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah, it's
rare.
not really the game that's made these days, is it?
No, it isn't. It's kind of sad. I just looked up for this, by the way, because I was very curious. If you recall, there was Time
Yeah.
Splitters Rewind. Do you recall that? There was a
Uh,
CryEngine remake of Time Splitters 2. It got actually
oh
pretty
yeah.
far. And then
Oh
I'm looking
man.
online. and it seems like I haven't seen an update for almost a year or longer now. So
wasn't there also like a leak?
Very sad.
Like somebody got a PS3 dev kit that had like an unfinished like version of TimeSplitters on it.
Yeah, TimeSplitters for test level for graphical stuff that you can potentially spawn bots in. Yeah, I saw that.
So that was
that's wild. What a shame that the only version is the PS3 version that came out.
Closest thing I could say to this is that, and I don't know what the full game will be or when it'll hit, but there's this game called Agent 64 Spies Never Die that's basically like a GoldenEye style game, and it's the closest thing to TimeSplitters GoldenEye that I've seen being made. It goes for a bit of an N64 aesthetic, but it's silky smooth and it feels awesome to play. I do recommend checking that out, and I eagerly await the full game. But beyond that, there ain't too many games in this vein being made anymore, and that vein being dropping you into a mission with objectives. You explore that map. You're dealing with enemies in multiple creative ways. All of this stuff is fun and awesome, and I think people would dig it. And just nobody's making games like this anymore. Of course, the Perfect Dark game is still MIA. We have no idea what's going on there.
Oh God, we haven't seen that in ages.
That was announced like 6 years ago or something, 5 or 6 years ago.
Whenever the initiative started up,
right, and
whatever that was about.
So it's just, man, it's a shame.
Yeah, crazy stuff.